There are several solutions to resource overallocation problem in a project. Number one, you can leave it alone in your project. When you have overallocated resource, that means those resources will need to work overtime. Of course, you can provide an overtime pay. However, in some projects, you may not want to overload your project team because when you have them work overtime, it might cause lower effectiveness in their work. Thus, we will consider to remove the resource overallocation from our project. In MS project, we can use resource leveling to remove resource overallocation. If you go to the resource menu, you will see this group, the resource leveling tools. There are several different tools here, but one window to provide you all the options is leveling options. You can click to it to open this resource leveling window. There are options for leveling calculations. Usually we will leave the leveling calculation manually because when it say automatic, that means the program will not inform you any resource overallocation problem, but it will remove it immediately. We will look for overallocations on a day-by-day basis, and make sure you check this box to clear leveling values before another leveling, because each of the resource leveling will change the project schedule. If you do a new leveling based on an existing one, it may not give you the most effective schedule in the project. For the leveling range, you can level entire project, or you can give the time period that you want to level the resource about. The last category here is resolving overallocations. There are several checkboxes here. Let's first uncheck all of them, but then check the first level only within available slack. This option will allow us to take a good use of the available slacks, but will not change the project duration. So overall, it will move the task in this project around to change the resource usage within the project duration. The next few check boxes involves adjusting individual assignment, create split in the work, manually schedule the task, and so. And in this project, we don't use any of the others. There are several buttons at the end. Most people may tend to click the OK button, but remember that the OK button here is just take all the options we have changed here. It will not do the resource leveling here for you. If you want to do the resource leveling, you need to use Level All. Click here. The detailed information will show some part of the problem has been solved, but some others cannot. Do you want to skip them? You can click Skip All for now. It seems nothing changed, but actually Code B has been rescheduled. It was started on the same date with Code A, and now it has been moved to 2 days later. If you look at the resource usage view, for software engineers, Code B has moved to 2 days later, so it's just delayed the problem in the project, and we still have this much overallocation on software engineers between Code A and Code B. Obviously, leveling within Slack did not solve any problem in this project. It's just delayed the problem a little bit. Now back to the Gantt chart view. We need to try the other option. On the review menu again, go to leveling options. We will uncheck this box. That means we can extend the project duration to solve the resource overallocation problem. Remember, currently our project have 24 days duration. And now if you uncheck this box, and remember, do not use OK, but do Level All. This is a little notice for us. Again, if there is still problem that we cannot solve, skip all. Now there is some good news. Instead of 3 tasks being affected by resource overallocation, there is only just one little red man show here with assemble hardware. That means 2 other tasks has no further problem. If you check the resource sheet view, software engineers back to the regular black color, and only design engineers are still overallocated. In the resource usage view, we can see that the way we solve the software engineer's overallocation problem between code A and code B is we move code B after the task of code A been completed. However, for design engineers, we still have one person short to complete the assemble hardware task. And back to the Gantt chart, the project duration now shows 29 days instead of 24 days. So our cost to solve the software engineer's overallocation problem is we need 5 more days to complete this whole project. There are still resource overallocation problem remained. This is not a time conflict between two tasks that we can move one task back to solve the problem, but we're really short of one design engineer in this task. To summarize this video, it's not totally abnormal to see resource overallocation problem in a project. When you see such problem, there are several options. You can keep this problem in your project and consider pay overtime rate to your team member when they need to work overtime. Or if you want to remove this problem, you can level your resource. You can level the resource within available slack, which means you're not going to change the project duration, but within the current duration time, you can adjust the use of your resource by moving your task schedule around. This may solve part of the problem. It may not solve all the problem. So the next step you can try is to do the resource leveling out of the available slack. This option will extend your project duration, but in turn, it will solve more resource overallocation problem. In the case that you have tried both options, they still cannot solve all the problem. You will need to request additional resource in some case. As a project manager, you will need to try all these options, list and compare their cost and their benefit, and you can make a good decision based on your comparison of all these options.